Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of the wellness program. I hope you all had a great weekend. After looking through some of the check-ins this week, I'm starting to see some really awesome trends with you guys starting to feel better, moving more, getting in the gym a little more consistently. And a lot of that's coming down to the fact that you're just being more intentional with your habits because we're thinking about changing those habits. So inherently, we're starting to see them play out in action, which is awesome and exactly what leads to long-term sustainable change. So this week, I want us to take it one step further. We had a goal last week of just trying to maintain something you did from the week before. So goal number 1 is going to be to keep that consistent again this week. Remember, it takes at least a few weeks to really develop a habit. And then from there, we can start to measure the change and then create and adjust that plan to create more change long term. So step 2 of that process is going to be being even more intentional, now another aspect of our healthy way of life. This week, we're going to be tracking calories. So if you had a goal of tracking calories last week, that's awesome. Maybe layer in a new goal like steps. But for those of you who didn't track calories this week, this is going to be one of the biggest game changers I've seen with all the people I've trained and in research showing that when you track calories, you're more likely to achieve your results, whether it be weight gain, weight loss, weight maintenance, energy production. All those things come down to how much you eat, calories in essentially. So a lot of you want to learn a bit more about how to eat, and this is going to allow me to create very specific, detailed content around how to eat healthier. Now, the word healthy is a little bit of an abstract term. It's not super scientific. There's a lot of ways to fit different foods in for our different goals. I don't like to red pen different types of foods and say you cannot eat this, you can't eat this, sugar's always bad, carbs are always bad, fat's always bad, etc., etc. When ultimately we're talking about healthy, I think it's allowing for abundance and as many things incorporated into a plan as possible. So by tracking calories this week, we're going to start to see some of those trends develop, and that's going to allow me to help tell you guys and guide you along this process. The types of foods you can be eating, how often you should be eating, amount you should be eating, etc. So this week, I'm going to be sending out a little document on how to use an app called MyFitnessPal. Most of you probably have heard of it. It's a free app. It's amazing. It has a lot of different food varieties in there because people have been adding to it over the years. So you should be able to find most of the foods you eat in there. If not, you can always scan it in or create your own foods as well. So I'll be sending a little guide on how to get that set up and start tracking calories there. So goal this week is going to be just to log what you eat. They're going to have a goal calorie that they recommend you based on some information you put in. I'm going to recommend you don't follow that number because that's not necessarily based on you. You may have been eating different amounts of food before, you have different levels of activity, etc., etc. It's basically an equation. It's not specifically tailored, and long term, I'd like to tailor this all to you to make you get the best results possible. So this week, just track your food that you eat. And then next week, we can start to set some goals from what you were eating this last week, whether it be changing the types of food, changing the amounts, changing the time of it, etc. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. Like I said, step 1 this week is going to be to maintain the goal you had from last week. So if it was to get 10,000 steps, if you hit it, excellent. Do it again. If you didn't hit it, you reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, make a plan and you're more likely to achieve that goal. Step 2 is going to be start tracking calories. And this isn't to create a complex with, I have to weigh every single ounce of food. All I'm going to say is the more you track, the more accurately you track, the better results you're going to get. And they've done studies on that where basically you think you're eating this amount, they'll actually weigh and measure what you are eating, and it can be thousands of calories off. So I do think it's a really good skill to learn, and it can be learned. And it can be done very easy and integrative into your life. So track those calories this week. Just put in what you were eating, no pressure, no judgments. I'll have you guys add me as a friend. That way I can start to look in there, see some of those trends develop, and make it a little more personalized to you. Hope you guys have a great week. Look forward to talking to you soon.